Hello, this is Charting Man Dan of TheChartGuys, where we teach the little guy and girl how to utilize charts to manage their own trades and investments. What do I mean by the little guy and girl? Well, we just had two directives signed halting the implementation of a rule that requires financial advisors to act in the best interests of their client. Let that sink in a little bit. The big wigs on Wall Street can play with your retirement and hard-earned money without your best interests at heart. We currently have hundreds of members taking charge of their financial future, and we would love for you to come check out a free week with no credit card required to see if our services would be beneficial on your path to financial independence as well. What we offer, we have a separate course of over 5 hours in length on when to enter and exit positions. And in terms of what we do daily, we have nightly videos, key levels updated each morning before the bell, 2.5 hours of live daily webcam coverage in the morning and in the afternoon, and over 7 hours of educational videos. All of these links can be found in the description of this video. Come check us out. Thanks for watching. Let's get on to the technical analysis. Checking in on YELP GWPH PCLN NVDA and TSLA. So looking at YELP, bears in full control still. So we had a gap down open. The bulls bought the gap down, but look at this 8-period exponential moving average resistance on the daily time frame, rejecting 4 of the last 5 days. Bulls are not going anywhere until we can close above this level. We are very oversold, but we lost the higher low pattern on the weekly time frame, and the next support we're looking down at is down at this $32 range. So I do think we're going to see an oversold bounce on the daily time frame before reaching $32 support. But we need to be very patient because these long upper wicks, it's been a story of upper wicks and profit taking on every bounce attempt, showing no confidence by the bulls to hold overnight. So until we see a strong close and that 8-period exponential becomes support, the bears are running the show here on the daily time frame. GWPH, a lot more significant pullback, so it looked like a bull flag on the daily time frame, but now that today has occurred on the big spike on bear volume, it is no longer a bull flag. And this is because the biotech sector saw a lot of weakness, which obviously leads to downside with the biotech GWPH being within that sector, and of course that volume was the big red flag. So overall, the bulls are still holding on strong, and here we are testing previous resistance now as support. 124 rejected the price a couple times, and here we are bouncing off of it. Daily middle Bollinger Band is 123.38, still holding, and we still very clearly have a higher low, higher high pattern on the daily. So this is a potential bullish entry opportunity, but there's a lot more factors besides just this chart. We have to look at the IBB chart, the NASDAQ Biotechs. We have to look at the S&P 500 and how consolidation there might affect IBB and how that might affect GWPH. So there's always multiple correlations to be watching. And we're watching to see if the bulls can hold this middle Bollinger Band on the daily. Keeping in mind, we are rejecting multiple weeks in a row from the upper Bollinger Band weekly resistance. The Bollinger Bands are getting very tight. The middle Bollinger Band support is 119.61, and the bulls have to break out above the upper Bollinger Band. Otherwise, we're going to trade sideways for a while we wait for those Bollinger Bands to expand. So very clear resistance, multiple weeks in a row, 2 weeks in a row. Upper Bollinger Band tightening and needs to get out of the way. PCLN still very strong. Higher low pattern 1628, 1634, and a close at the high of the day on the verge of an all-time high. The inside candlestick of the S&P 500, we get a bull break tomorrow and we likely see PCLN get a new all-time high. We get a bear break and we likely test down at the lows 1639, 1634 supports. So resistance is that all-time high of 1659. Bulls strong close at the high of the day, and we'll be looking for continuation on this bullish consolidation if we get some bullish continuation in the S&P 500 as well. Weekly chart upper Bollinger Band 1661 will be the next resistance we look to after a new all-time high, and that level will update with the price, so it'll likely be around 1663 by the time we hit it, and we'll see if the bulls can close strong at new all-time highs this week. All depends on the S&P 500 as the correlation is strong there. NVDA bearish news on a downgrade after hours after a rejection from the middle Bollinger Band resistance. We have a very clear channel of the 50-day moving average support of 106.76 and the middle Bollinger Band resistance, which now rejected the price. I am bearish NVDA short term. This is a fairly weak bounce. The bulls did see some nice follow through the past 2 days, at least to start today. But overall, after this big bear volume poured in on that double top at the all-time high, that kind of set the tone for me, and this bounce is pretty weak considering where we came from. We did drop down to 104, and we got to bounce all the way up to 112, but this could just be another lower high, and if we see another lower low, the bears are going to take over, and it's because of where we stand on the weekly time frame. Very, very close to losing these exponential supports for the first time in a year. The market, the S&P 500, has not even started consolidating. So if we see consolidation in the market, that's going to be some downside weight on these bulls as well. So all of this is happening with the market in extremely favorable terms for the bulls. And just imagining what's going to happen when we do see inevitable consolidation in the S&P 500, I would anticipate NVDA to lose these weekly supports and see a test of the weekly middle Bollinger Band. So I am looking for a move back down towards the low $100 area, and we'll see how much bearish momentum we have after this downgrade came after hours. Tesla had earnings after hours, and we currently have, actually just want to check in to see where we stand right now. Tesla 278. So we're still battling this 280 psychological level, and we're going to be watching. You can see a rejection from the high from 280, past 2 days in a row, rejecting from 280 another 2 times. And if we can't close this week over 280, it will be the 4th rejection on the weekly time frame in a row in the history of Tesla with an inability to close over 280. Upper wick last week, upper wick this week, and need to watch how the price reacts to 280 tomorrow. If bulls get up over that level and close the daily time frame over 280, they will affirm control in the short term. If not, we're looking at support of 264.15, and the daily middle Bollinger Band will be right there as well. So lots to be watching on these individual names for the rest of the week, and we'll continue to check back in. See you tomorrow.